to Evening Rush with your girl Precious. As always, it's always a delight to be with you every single day here on 90.3 Voice of the People FM. I mean, it gives me a lot of joy to do this, and yeah, that's why I get to be here every evening with you. So, very quickly, as usual, I'd like to let you know that this is where Nigeria's finest conversation takes place in the evening like this. And of course, today, it won't be different from other days. My name is Precious Enyi. This show is being produced by Promise Enyi. Yeah. My sister. All right. So very quickly, let me let you in on the hot topics for today. Nothing so interesting. But then, some will say it's come ça. So your 45 ministerial nominees have been sworn in. They've taken oath of office. That's one of the things that you may need to hear today. And then there is also another news of Kano youths protest alleged plan to bribe tribunal despite police ban. All right, there's a ban in protests in Kano State, but then they said they need a agree. Say what's happen, they must protest them. All right, your buildings will go down. Wike assumes office as FCT minister. It gives riot act. Say calm down. If he means I have to pinch everybody, I have to pinch. Anybody I have to offend, I will offend. You understand? But I must do my work and I must return Abuja to eat for my glory. All right, we'll move to the next conversation. I'll hold you accountable for standards promised Nigerians. Tinubu tells ministers. Oh, I wanted to say ministerial nominees. I've forgotten that they're now ministers, right? Average daily petrol consumption drops by 16.8% to 52 million liters. This is according to NMDPRA. All right, that is so that is the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Why would they consume over 60 million liters again? What's going on here? All right, so let's get you to the next conversation quickly. I've turned you to reggae artist Shehu Sani Mox El Rufai. God, these two people will not leave us alone. Okay, so that's a bit on the lighter note. You know how they always, come at each other, right? Okay, so another conversation that we have here. Cyber not smoke El Rufai. Name him reggae minister. Are you kidding me? You guys calm down. What's all this? Your house must go down. Wike threatens demolitions. That's what I told you earlier. But there's another interesting story here that may also interest you, which is probably a big story for today. Atiku, Kwankwaso will be discussing merger to wrest power from APC. Hey, what do y'all think about that? What is the possibility of that? Should that, if it could may happen and it could may not happen, what do you think that really portends? Because if you do remember that the APC had to, merge, or, a couple of parties merged to form the APC, and that was the only way that they were able to wrestle power from the PDP back in 2015. And then if you also do remember that a lot of people blamed the division in the PDP as the major reason why the PDP could not win the election, or P2B could not also win, because there was a lot of division. Kwankwaso broke out from the PDP, Obi broke out from the PDP, and within the PDP that was still there, the G4 had a mind of their own, so it was a lot of tussle. In fact, for Atiku and Obi to even score to get the number of votes that he got so far, it's even very commendable, because it was going to be tough considering all the divisions that happened. So do you think that this merger is something that we need to celebrate or we need to look forward to in politics? That's the question I don't have answers to. But as usual, I have my Monday Thursday tonic in the house. Mr. Darlington is here, and he'll put us through all of this conversation very shortly as we dissect them. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. The Evening Rush with Precious, featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters arising on Hot Topic Pod.
What was the rate of inflation, and then what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations, critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree.
When we say our GDP is not an oil dominated,
to agree.
on Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3. Voice of the People FM. Lagos. Now you have a voice.
Good evening, Lagos. Welcome back. It is 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's get to the conversations one at a time. You know what? We'll just scratch the surface of this top story or this big story for the day. And then we'll go to other top stories and then we'll come back to it. Remember, I did tell you that the big story of the day is Atiku Kwankwaso will be discussing measure to wrestle power from APC. In fact, before we go to that, let's look at the government of the day, the ones that we have here now and what's going on. So, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said he will hold newly sworn-in ministers accountable, right? For the standards that Nigerians have been promised. So all the rishi were promised, by this government. If it's not met, then the people that will have to blame is the new ministers. And I don't have to say further. Of course, you know that he said that I know you and I delegate this authority, but the greatest number of Nigerians are highly expectant of delivery, accountability, and transparency. Nigerians expect that you would act with integrity, dignity, and deliver. I will hold you to the standard we all promised Nigerians. Mr. Darlington, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, Precious, good evening.
Thank you. All right, let's have you react to what Mr. President. In fact, before you react to it, let me kukuma merge what my former governor said so that we can have all that thoughts together. So my former governor, did I say Chibike? Nyesom Wike Izabonwo, had said that, he said a lot. I don't know if I should even better play his soundbite or go ahead and just say, recount what he said, because he did say quite a lot while he was addressing that particular conversation. So I think it's better that we just go listen to him say what he said personally. Then we'll come back to also reel out what he said. So whilst resuming office as a minister for FCT or minister of FCT, for FCT, he did say this. Take a listen.
Too bad. So then look at refugees everywhere. Those who are paying for refuse collection, what are they doing? So we must also sit down to look at differently. And let me tell you, that period of land marketing is what? Over. And those that government are giving CFO land, allocated land to them, they refuse to develop. And they are becoming land speculators. The land is gone. I'm going to revoke them. I will revoke, because I don't understand how your government will give you land to develop, then you keep the land land that you may have paid for 200,000. You're not beginning to find who will buy for 2 billion and 3 billion. Who does that? We will take back our land and give it to those who want to develop. I must sign that you must develop at so time. So, if you are part of those who have been getting such land, it will come back to us. And some people are saying, Abuja is not doing this, Abuja is not doing that. Those of you who also refuse to pay a grand rent, non-payment of grand rent is a breach of covenant. I don't need to write you to pay. This word as well. You're like a tenant. At the end of the month, you are supposed to pay social bank, for example. No, it doesn't make sense. God, Abuja needs money too, is it not? Part of the revenue or source of revenue is ground rent. So if you have not paid, be it national, whatever you call it, banco, anywhere, big man, sorry, I will not be tired to revoke. That's why I'm here. It is true. People who are distorting the master plan of Abuja, too bad. So you can look at refuse everywhere. Those who are paying for refuse collection, what are they doing? So we must also sit down to look at differently ways of waste management or waste disposal. It is very, 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 very key.
All right, that's your Minister for FCT, former Governor Ijeoma Egwuatu speaking their resumption of office. And of course, Egwuatu would not stop but to make people also laugh whilst, trying to resume office because, after his inaugural speech, as it were, as the Minister for FCT, while he did resume office, he was asked a couple of questions by journalists, or he was to be asked questions by journalists. And guess what he responded to? Take a listen to his response.
I will take one or two questions only because I'm getting hungry. Let me not be talking now. I faint. They say the limits has fainted. I'm about to come out in the front page of this day, and I rise to carry the first page. Those people are fighting me up and down. I know. So that's why I'm fully prepared as I came. I will not faint. Yes, two questions. Yes.
All right, you heard that. Mr. Darlington, let's have you react to, the inauguration of all the ministers, the 45 ministers. You heard what Nyesom Wike said was resuming office. Oh, by the way, Dele Alaki, the Minister for Mines and Steel and, natural minerals, Abi. I need to call them Abi. He also did say that, that he realized that Nigeria is being shortchanged in that sector so that his interest is in ensuring that the mineral produced in Nigeria is used for the common purpose of Nigerians and the benefit of Nigerians. And no more time that, it is just expended in, by a few people alone and other countries probably shortchanging us and giving us a little stipends. I'd like to get your reaction.
Yeah, Precious, thanks a lot. Please, before I go on, there is something I wanted to maybe...
What was that?
Correct.
Okay.
About your listing last Friday's program.
Oh, wow. You want to bring us back from last Friday? All right, go ahead.
Radio is to educate and inform.
Go ahead, please. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Good. Your guest, when you asked him about appointing Chief Justice,
yes,
he said he must appoint somebody that's a lawyer to him.
He said that he did not say must. He said that the way it's been in Nigeria is that because it is the executive that appoints the chief, the CJN, so that most times the executive appoints CJNs
for the president to appoint. Normally, when there is vacancy at that level, the National Judicial Council will what? Select those.
Not Chief Justice, we're talking about...
I'm coming. I said National Judicial Council.
Because we're talking about Attorney General here. It was Attorney General he was talking about.
Oh, Attorney
General. It was Attorney General, not the Chief Justice. This was while responding to the new ministerial nominees and the duties of the Attorney General of the Federation. That's actually what we're talking about.
Okay.
So it's not about the Chief Justice of Nigeria. No, that is different. Apologies. I think there was a mixture of nomenclature. That's why.
Okay.
So it's Attorney General of the Federation, because the Attorney General is the Minister for Justice. So it was because he was on the basis of those ministerial nominees that we mentioned that
to separate the two offices.
Because that's the thing. So why appoint someone that of course would want to be loyal to you against a different arm of government entirely? You know that this is a different arm of government. So how do you now expect that arm of government to run independently when the executive must have a hand in the appointment? But in fairness to him, he also did say that it's not only in Nigeria, elsewhere too it's like that, perhaps in the US too. But then what we do not know is if there is any sort of interference or executive interference in judicial cases.
Now, having said that, having cleared that,
go ahead.
Your ministerial appointment, again, you remember that last Thursday,
okay, sir,
when these appointment things came up, when they were giving portfolios, I think we broached over it here. and you asked for my opinion. And I said, look, the taste of the food is in the eating. I remember I told you that. And that I cannot celebrate any of them now, even though you wanted me to say things and balance it according to you. But now, Precious, between that last Thursday and now, there have been changes in this ministerial appointment.
Oh, yes, there has been.
There has been.
Very minor changes, by the way.
But it's very vital, very vital. Maybe you didn't know the genesis.
Go ahead.
There was no minister.
You know, it happened during the weekend. That's what I thought not to mention.
No, it's important, please, because we are here to educate and inform
Go
our
ahead.
people. Good. The Niger Delta Ministry, nobody was appointed there. Remember?
Initially, there was no.
Yeah,
there was
that's what I said. That was there, nobody. And then, thus Edwin Clark, Pandef held a meeting on the 18th.
Because it looked like, because you know the reason was, you know, the president, we heard, even though we didn't hear the president say it himself, we did hear from sources close to the presidency that it was like a duplication of ministry, where we had the NDDC and then we had the Niger Delta Ministry. Why do we have the two of them? So that's why it looked like there was silence in that Niger Delta Ministry.
Exactly. So the people now say, look, this thing was started by Yaradua, and it has been on since that time. That for the sake of peace, they want to have it back. They held a meeting on the 18th of this month in Abuja, Pandef, their BOT and the NEC, where they now resolved and sent a delegation to the presidency. I think that threat that for peace to reign in Niger Delta and in Nigeria, that was what they jotted the president to now say, okay. Are you getting what I'm saying now?
I can hear you.
Good.
Yes.
And they had to oblige Pandef and made those changes. And now it has altered the initial appointments. Which to me is not proper. That means any other group can wake up tomorrow and then point out something that they don't like. Then you alter the ministerial appointment they get. It's not right. The thing I'm pointing out here is that it now shows you that if you have something that you can leverage on in Nigeria, that is the only time government can answer you. That's just the simple truth. I am sure if not for the oil coming out from there, nobody would have paid that.
But was it fair in the first place anyway, considering the oil that is also coming out from there? Because I saw that debate a lot of time. I saw that debate everywhere on social media when people were like, "Oh, even the North now have, has its own oil too." And people are saying, "Okay, so what's how many barrels do we have the North exports in commercial quantity?" Because it's making it look like, okay, because we have other parts of the country with oil, like parts of the West, like Lagos, and the North with oil now. So let's play down on the Niger Delta Ministry. But then
that is the issue here. So what I'm saying is not the right thing to do, because if everybody begin to say, okay, let me leverage on what I have, Nigeria may not move forward.
All right, so let's have you react to the ministerial appointment and oath of office.
Inauguration now.
Yes.
We are now in inauguration. Precious.
Sir?
I have my take on this inauguration.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. You see, when this inauguration was taking place and they were reeling out their resume and all that, some of the people that they were calling out and then the portfolio they were supposed to be holding, their credentials does not tally with the ministry given to them. That was where I was. This person had this credential and you are putting me in this particular area. How will he perform there? Is it tomorrow now we start lamenting again? You see why I told you that I will not give any of them credit until they perform. Remember what Keyamo said, that the minister for state they gave him for labor, that it was not unconstitutional. So if he did not perform there, nobody should blame him. The other man, Adamu, said he doesn't know anything about education. So why do we go back to all these things that we saw that it cannot work? We are repeating it. If these people did not perform now, they will give you an excuse that they never wanted to be in this ministry. They were just giving the ministry. will you blame them? You won't blame them. That is what I'm saying. That was where I was raising that argument last week. I mean, at this point, we need to put square peg in a square hole. At least to run the economy for the next 2-3 years. So that things can come back. Then if you want to do party something, you can now reshuffle and do whatever. But right now, you know when you are doing a relay race, you put your fastest sprinters to... That was what I took out. In that book he launched. I think Restoring the Jewel of Africa or something. Reclaiming the Jewel of Africa. A very important book. I saw through some of this thing. And I said, these are people that worked with these men. And look at the accolade. He said that they were allowed to work. And they are giving them that credit. These particular ministers now, will they be allowed to work? Look at Boyega Oyetola. From transport now to blue and marine.
Deep sea.
Does he have any this in there? All this 8 trillion naira they promised us from that ministry, will it come out? It will not. It will not. You and I know that. And who is going to ask them tomorrow? This thing you promised us. All the things Buhari promised us, have anybody asked him? He has come and gone, and we are suffering it. So we should have people hold them. It's not even because you can no longer hold them. Precious. This civilian administration in Nigeria is like a military. Nobody account for anything. You just talk. They don't want to listen. Court will give judgment. They won't obey. So all these are account. Nobody's accounting for anything. That's why they are so arrogant and they act with impunity. Because they know you will not do anything. If we had a government that listens to people, at least there are things that they ought not to do. But they are doing it. And shoving it on our faces.
All right, Mr. Darlington, let's go to the next conversation very quickly because we have a big story to deal with, which is the merger of, these political parties. But before we get to that merger, we hear that there was a protest today in Kano State, and this has got to do with a lot about awaiting tribunal judgment, right? So hundreds of youths in Kano State today besieged the state government house to protest the alleged financial inducement of the State Election Petition Tribunal. Now, the protest came shortly after the Commissioner of Police, Uswaini Gumel, banned protests by political parties and their supporters following Justice Flora Azingay's revelation of lawyers' plot to obstruct the course of justice with financial inducement. I don't. If you listen to our show on Friday, we did talk about it when I told you that she mentioned that a son was trying to bribe her. Yeah. Right, and you know that's the NNPP governorship governor there. His election is still under. Is in the tribunal. So I quote again. He says in consideration of the confirmatory intelligence products at the disposal of this police command, all forms of street protest are hereby banned across all parts of the state. That this is the Commissioner of Police. Now, the Commissioner therefore warned supporters of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the New Nigeria People's Party, NPP, you know that they're the two opposing factions in that state, to desist from all forms of protest without clearance from the police. However, the youth defied the police ban and marched into the government house carrying various placards. One read, "Gandola, stop spoiling the name of Tinubu." In videos online, the youth chanted "No to corruption, no to injustice, and no to manipulation" as they protested. Now, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf addressed the youth and lauded them for the peaceful exercise, just as he vowed to relay their grievances to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, before you respond to that, very, very quickly, I would love us to merge that with what's going on with Shehu Sani and El Rufai, where El Rufai, posted, he posted people saw it as a cryptic message. He posted Bob Marley's song, that's Who the Cap Fit song, right? And a lot of people are like, okay, what's going on here? So Shehu Sani also responded to it and was like, they've turned you to reggae artist now. You're not singing. So he actually posted the full verse, in fact, the full song.
What was
its lyrics?
What was the reason for that?
We do not know. Talking about who the cap fates, let them wear it, and all of that. Bob Marley's song. So in fact, other people on social media, everyone has come after him. I'm like, can somebody not sing a song that he likes in peace on the streets of Twitter? Let's have you react to those quickly before we go to the tribunal.
Now, I am so disappointed.
In who? Or with who?
What lawyers are doing.
Oh.
Seriously. Even though the NBA have written to some of these lawyers, the one that announced result of Bilani. Yeah, the lawyer that announced that result, they are written to him. I think they are written to one other person. But what will come out of it? What? Precious, the lawyer that tried to subvert the UK judiciary that stood for Ibori, he was jailed with Ibori in the UK. It's on record. He was jailed with Ibori. But here, some people feel they are so big that they can do whatever. They don't even obey the NBA regulation, rules and regulation. Just because of a fat brief, they now mess up the profession. Why would you do that as a lawyer? They are writing to the judge to name. If she names the persons, what will not happen? You want a judge to come to witness board to come and bear witness. Is it possible? The question is, the lawyer who knows his own, should you do that? You can't do that. Look at Ekweremadu. I'm sure you must have tried one thing, but they say no. This is how to build a society. If men who are in the temple of justice cannot do justice, then what are we talking about? By the time they subvert this tribunal and then get judgment, they will say, he's a tough lawyer, he's a big lawyer. Meanwhile, you got it through bribe. Look at it. For a judge to cry out. You can imagine what has been going on.
But she refused to name names. People were looking forward to her naming names.
That's what I'm saying. She knows the implication. If you name anybody, you must come to court to testify when they are prosecuting. Do you expect her to do that? No, look at it yourself. She must come to court. So, it is left for you to find out and prosecute if you want to. But she knows that even if she names, nothing will happen. She knows. I am telling you, she knows that even if she name anybody, nothing. Is it the first time? Precious, is this the first time? Other people, if they have made a scapegoat of somebody, I'm sure others will learn a lesson. The man that announced that result, even when result have not been, even when the voting was not even concluded, what was on his mind? Look at the impunity, look at the arrogance. And he's a lawyer. These are issues. All the professions, in fact, it will come to a point they will now be looking down on lawyers. And that is too bad. Because of a brief, you now want to mess up everything. Because you want to obtain a victory in court. Why not do it genuinely so that people will clap for you when it's done? Now that people are now, even youths who don't know anything about law, are now protesting, telling you don't do that. In fact, everything is going haywire. I don't know. It's not proper, serious. It's not. NBA should pursue this matter and make a scapegoat of somebody.
Oh, but did you not see that argument with your NBA lawyer the last time, where someone was telling, the president, one lawyer was telling the present NBA lawyer that he is not fit to be an NBA lawyer?
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's what
you heard that, right?
I did.
I could play that.
No, there's no need.
There's no need playing it. Uh-huh. All right, so Lagos, let's move to a big story today because this is where the juice is, right? So, we've been hearing on the Kumkum that there is a possibility of a merger between Atiku, Kwankwaso, Obi, to wrest power from APC. Do you think that's possible? So they say they are hopeful that the election tribunal will call for a re-election or rerun, which would see them merge to challenge Tinubu. Hey, okay. Hey. Okay. So, and they said, gearing up for possibilities as the country continues its transition process. The trio of Atiku Abubakar, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and Peter Obi have begun to discuss the possibility of merger with the ultimate goal of setting up a formidable party that can, more effectively challenge the ruling of Progressives Congress, the APC, right? So the meeting of these three political parties, which had been going on for a while on the Kumkum, we've not heard about it, but it's been going on according to sources. It was started with the one between Atiku, the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Kwankwaso, who was the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, at the last presidential election. Now, after the first leg of the meetings was adjudged successful, another one between Obi and the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, who is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and other critical elements in PDP started to take shape. After the other two stakeholders agreed to bring him in the discussions, which are said to still be at the preliminary stages, have been hinged on two pillars. Now, they said the first is, according to insiders, the three leaders have decided to wait and watch the outcome of the election petitions in court, which could determine the second leg of the decision should the court verdict go south. You know what I mean by go south? Nobody say go south. No, that is if you go the other way. You understand? For instance, sources privy to some of the discussions hinted that the leaders were hopeful that the Presidential Election Tribunal would be just and fair. They believe, say the tribunal would be just and fair enough to establish that the election that brought President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to office could not stand any decent electoral test, and as such, do the needful. By this, the leaders were said to be hopeful that the tribunal would call for a re-election or a rerun. Now, a rerun is different from a re-election. If it's a rerun, it is the two people that are at the top, the first and second people that carried first and second, that will now do another election. In that case, Peter Obi would not partake in the election because he's number third, according to the election that happened, right? But if it is another election, a re-election, that means all the parties involved in the election can also contest the election. Let me finish breaking down the story the way it is before I let Mr. Darlington have his say. So he said this rerun or re-election, which would see them come together in a merger for the election and challenge Tinubu and APC in the second opportunity. Okay. However, the tribunal decided. If the tribunal decided otherwise, the leaders were said to be considering setting up a formidable party ahead of the 2027 general election, during which they planned to take over the reins of power from the ruling APC. Now, a source said the meeting started with Kwankwaso and Atiku, and they have agreed to bring Peter Obi in to set up a formidable opposition after the court cases. Although they have not got, to the point of discussing who will lead the opposition, they are leaving it out for now till when the case. Remember that point of who will lead and who will not lead was a lot of trouble before the election, when especially Peter Obi, we heard that Peter Obi was in talks with Kwankwaso for a merger. Kwankwaso, said that his credential is too big for him to be Peter Obi's vice. And Peter Obi's people actually wanted him to also be the president and not be the vice. So that was the problem. In fact, remember what happened at the Chatham House when he called Peter Obi Andrew Liver Salt. But right now, a lot of people are saying, okay, you call somebody Andrew Liver Salt. Looks like your own not even reach Andrew Liver Salt at the end of the day. Because after election, you be like, say your wave don't die. Even for the Kanu where you win, you be like, say you still they struggle to maintain the Kanu. This is not me saying it. So this is what people are saying. Right. Okay. So now, after the court cases, they will plan and come together for a re-election or stand together ahead to fight the 2027 election battle. They are considering a formidable party comprising the PDP, Labour, and the NNPP. This is from this day newspaper. And it's been a serious conversation. Mr. Darlington, I'm sure you're already privy of this. Let's have you have your say. I'm sure this interests you, right? And they see you this man. And the kind of way they see your body be that. Go ahead, let's hear you.
In fact, if you look at all the propaganda that was used against P2B during the campaign, nobody believed that P2B will even score one vote.
It was shocking. That's why they called him the tsunami anyway. That's a lot of people say, oh wow, because he took a lot of people unawares.
Just you said now that Kwankwaso said at Chatham House, he was so proud and so arrogant about it. You know, even they said obedient is only on social media, that they don't even have PVC. All manner of things was said against P2B, but now look at him. And I know that if things were properly done, that vote he got would have been higher. And that is why he is contesting this thing at the tribunal. But let me ask you, if they now said there will be a rerun or a re-election, who will lead? Because Kwankwaso,
that is a problem.
Kwankwaso and Atiku, they will feel that P2B is a greenhorn. The same thing that caused problem.
At the beginning, that's exactly the issue.
That is the issue.
So do you not also see division before it starts?
Good. Atiku will be so proud that I have been vice president. I have been this, I have been on this game.
Atiku cannot even take less. Because he served as a vice president for 8 years.
And then Atiku is not a good name now.
Why will he not be a good name?
Even in the north, he's not. If he's coming to lead the people, because they will remind him of what he did in PDP. As I'm talking to you now, people need a fresh blood. Nigerians need a breath of fresh air, and the P2B represent that breath of fresh air. So if these other two will leave pride and age, and then bring up P2B, that is the only time they can succeed. That is the truth. No matter what they do or say now, if P2B does not lead the opposition, they are not going anywhere. They won't. Because P2B has a large following.
So apart from P2B's following, I mean, if you go by the election result, Atiku did score higher than P2B, even though they're within 6,000. So do you not also think that the northern factor matters a lot?
The margin between P2B and Atiku is not much. It's not much.
So
and I'm telling you,
apart from P2B's large following, on what other basis are you taking a pick?
I am telling you that if these votes were properly counted, P2B would have garnered more votes. That is the fact.
So, Mr. Darlington, let me ask you clearly now. Are you saying this from the angle of someone who surely does want a southern president, perhaps a southeastern president, or you're just saying this from the perspective of sincerity?
You mean somebody who does not want a southern?
Who wants a southeastern president?
No. I'm saying
you're saying this from a functional point of view.
No, I am saying it based on the fact that the opinion of the public is tilting toward that end. Are you getting what I'm saying? Even when the result came out, people were disappointed that P2B got what he got. That means they were even telling that what they voted is not what they gave them. You saw it now. All the tippers and all the thing on the right, whose vote was this? You saw what happened in Rivers, where Wike did all the magic. So if votes were properly counted, P2B would have been ahead. That is it.
So, but now we have Wike as minister for FCT. Perhaps if there is a rerun. Now again, if there is a rerun, is it possible since the rerun may be between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, what's the possibility of this merger taking place if there is a rerun? What's the possibility of Peter Obi throwing his weight behind Atiku Abubakar if the merger takes place?
They have no
considering that he's not going to be on the ballot for the rerun.
You mean
Peter Obi?
Peter Obi?
Yes.
No. They need his people. They need his people. See, they need his people. They cannot do anything without P2B now. I mean the opposition. They cannot do anything without P2B. It's not possible. In fact, the people will rebel. They will even not vote again. And Atiku's vote may even go down. Kwankwaso already, I don't know, does he even have a vote? 1.something million, Abi?
The whole of Kano.
So what is that? That one is insignificant now. So it is actually between Atiku and P2B. And Atiku cannot do anything without P2B now. In fact, the whole of Southeast and South, Atiku need them. And P2B is holding that place like iron grip. So you can't go far without P2B. It's not possible.
So that's what I'm saying. Do you also see P2B's people accepting that measure if there is a rerun, or in the case of a rerun, considering that their principal is not even on the ballot for the rerun? Do you think that they would, likely consent to that measure?
You mean if P2B is not on the ballot?
In case of a rerun election, Mr. Darlington, P2B is not going to be on the ballot for a rerun election, because a rerun is usually between the two top candidates, according to the election results.
Yes.
Do you understand? So that is to say that if there is a rerun election, it's going to be between it's going to be between the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So P2B would not be in the ballot for the rerun. So if he's not in the ballot, what's the possibility of his people consenting that, let's join forces together to, support Atiku Abubakar and oust APC?
Of course, there's going to be a gentleman agreement. Because
do you think obedience would?
Why not? Why not? If there's with proper arrangement, devil can see God.
Oh wow,
Abi. Yes. Now, when he wanted to tempt Job, didn't they had a discussion on the matter? They had a discussion. God is saying, okay, go ahead, but don't touch his soul. So with proper arrangement, devil.
So that was the devil having discussion with God.
Is that not what the Bible says? So that's what I'm saying. So if it comes to this, they have no choice, because the end justifies the means in this particular.
So because the reason I'm asking that question is, you think we're now at that level in Nigeria where anything can be done to ensure that we have a different government? Do you think we don't reach that level?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. That's why I'm telling you that yes, it has gone to that level, because we are not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. We are not. That is why people must. In fact, there are going to be a protest vote. Even those who voted for APC before. Also
do not forget that Atiku Abubakar is a northerner and Buhari ruled for 8 years as a northerner. So will it not be another vote going to the north? So what will not happen to the south again now?
You see, Precious, please. There's a proverb in my place. They said, wherever the child come from, let the child live. Make it there alive first. Let us bring this meat from the tiger's mouth for them, begin to talk of how to share it. We need to tell APC, we have had enough of your regime. Let us try another person.
All right, Lagos.
Because Atiku was there as a PDP man, and we saw how this country was under PDP. So Atiku, I don't think he will go back to Egypt after seeing what happened. So let us even bring out this thing from APC. That's what I'm saying, because it's obvious they don't know how to rule. They don't know how to govern. They don't know how to lead. It's obvious. That's what I'm saying. So if anything can be done, let it be done. If it happens, I will be here to advise P2B. I'm telling you. Yes.
All right, Lagos. Do you think this measure is going to be possible in the first place?
Why not?
And if it's eventually possible, and perhaps the courts, rules for a rerun election, do you see the Labour Party and its mammoth crowd, subjecting themselves to another 4 or 8 years of a northern rule? Because that's a problem, right? And would also like to know, because one of the things, the reason I'm asking this question is because a lot of people one thing that has been on the forefront of the obedience clamor is the fact that there should be a new order and a new Nigeria. And PDP has also been blamed as those who had ruled before and have destroyed Nigeria. So do you now see the Labour Party eating its vomit and saying, you know what, we're better off with PDP than, allowing APC continue? That's the question.
All this propaganda about PDP, we have seen it now that from all indication, PDP was better in office. They were there for 16 years and you saw what happened. So it was all.
But if they were better, then why did people now vote them out? Why were they voted out?
We are there.
Were they not?
Jonathan gave up because he didn't want problem. You saw how that election went. You saw what happened, especially in Kano. So it's not. You see, when this result to come out and people say this person won or not, you saw what happened. If it was properly done, should Jonathan lose that election? Okay, now that you got your victory through the back door, what did you do with it? That is it. Lagos. It's not about winning election. It's about governance. Did we get governance from APC? Did we? That means that we are not even prepared. They cannot give what they don't have. It's not possible. So all this idea that people voted them out, is it true that people voted them out? Or that something happened? They rigged the election against Jonathan. I mean, you saw the confession that came after. You saw it. So it's just that Jonathan is a gentleman. He quietly left office and, to make peace reign. So nobody should go there and start saying, it's like what happened in this last election now. That somebody's vote was taken and given to somebody. And that is what the result was showing it. That in some areas we were using tippers to reduce some results to somewhere. You saw it now. I mean, is that in doubt again? So if you now
Mr. Darlington, let's let Nigeria come into this
So that's what I'm saying.
All right.
All this victory, is it genuinely obtained?
All right, Nigerians, I'd like you to jumping on this 0700 903 903 903 if you are watching us and you're in Nigeria. So you can call the terrestrial line 0700 903 903 903. That is 0700 903 903 903. But if you're watching from outside the shores of this country, you can call the WhatsApp line. We, got a means to make it easy for you. So the WhatsApp number is 0700 903 9039. Basically the same number, but just the order ends with 9 and ensure that it's 11 digits, right? So it's 0700 903 9039. Let's take your thoughts and your reactions. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, Precious.
Hi, good evening, welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Remy from Akoka.
Hi, Remy, welcome.
Good evening.
Yeah, well done, man.
Yeah, good evening.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest we take these major news with a pinch of salt.
Why do you think so?
Because we are yet to hear from the horse's mouth himself. Have you heard from any of the three or any of their spokesmen? No. We could recall there was a time there was news that would be asked Labour Party members not to be part of Tinubu's government. Then he came out to debunk it. Several speculations like that. So until we get to hear from either those men or their spokesmen, we shouldn't run with that information, because just as the information about him telling Labour Party not to do anything with Obi, it later came out to say it was false.
I agree with you, but moving forward, assuming this is true, because it's still assumption, right? So assuming it is correct.
These are my questions.
Yes. Would you no, before you ask me a question, you have to answer my own question now. So assuming assuming it's a correct news, assuming there happens to be the tribunal judgment goes, towards rerun of election, and these parties decide to come together. Do you think, or if you're a Labour Party person, do you think you would also support Peter Obi to support Atiku Abubakar, understanding that Peter Obi, would not be on the ballot for rerun?
I'd rather not cast my vote.
And you rather Nigeria remains the way it is. You rather not cast your vote and keep crying for a bad Nigeria or better Nigeria. It does mean a lot. So that's why I'm asking that question. Do you understand?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. If you are concerned about that, shouldn't you be concerned about the injustice of the verdict given out? If you are so concerned about,
if the justice goes towards rerun election, so if the justice does not come, what do? You keep crying about the justice, and then you keep being the way you are.
No, I'm asking too. I'm asking as well too. If you are saying, would I choose not to vote, or because things are not the way I wanted it? Should you not be concerned that justice when
were we not concerned about the justice that happened in Imo State? Did we die? Are we not where we are today? The governor of Imo State is still on the ballot to run for another election again. How have you killed him?
Because there was no cry out. That was why.
So after this, and we all know how things can happen, and that's why I did ask that question. So if you said that, if it happens that way, you stay out of the ballot and you rather not vote. So, but what would you be doing when you don't vote? Would you also be part of those clamoring that Nigeria should be better when you refuse to vote?
I was told to go and cast my vote, and my vote count, and I did. But in the end, the system was used against me. So how can it be the system? Precious, how can you beat the system when the system is structured to work against you? How? You think you can wish it away? Yesterday, people were attacked for protesting. We all saw how it happened. What was done?
No, we cannot.
So if things continue to be that way, so you continue to run away because things are that way, and that's the point. And we're talking about the same thing. Let's stop running around same circle. If things continue to be that way, what do you continue to do?
Precious.
You just keep running away. That's cowardice.
No, hold on.
That's cowardice.
Precious.
Yes, please go ahead.
No, you can call it cowardice if you want to, but the fact remains that the system has been skewed. As long as it continues, it will continue. So, okay.
So as long as it continues, it will continue, and you continue to wail, and they'll keep calling you a wailer.
Hold on.
Is that what you want?
No, hold on.
Go ahead.
They did that for 8 years. And nothing happened. Each time you try to protest, they will tell you it is your right, but each time you come out, you'll be attacked. We saw when Atiku came out, nothing was done to him. That is the system. So you can't beat the system no matter how angry you want to be.
So then what do you now do? That's why I'm asking you that question. What do you now do? The best thing for you to do is to stay off ballot.
See, Precious, when the time comes, nobody will tell anybody to go out and protest. Nobody will tell you.
So in your mind, it's just protest that is the best way that you can solve the problem. All right, I appreciate you, Remy. Thank you so much. So okay, we'll have to attend to more calls. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I have a question for you.
Oh, I've already been to another call, so make it fast, please.
Sorry. You talked about rerun. So on what basis would there be rerun?
Remy, can you drop your question via WhatsApp so that I can talk to the next person, please? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you. All right. Hello, good evening to you. Oh dear, I lost that call. Remy, you want to come and finish me with call.
That thing he said is not the proper
So, that's actually why I thought to raise that question. Because, we go continue the way we did just because we feel like it's not working the way we want it.
Look at it.
And how do you make things work the way you want it?
And today, they are number 4 most powerful nation in the whole world. If they had kept quiet and said, well, nothing will happen, they cried out to God and God answered them.
All right, so Mr. Darlington, I have a lot of messages. Let me quickly run to them. And somebody just sent me a message and says, Miss Sweet Precious, did you hear what your former governor, Mr. Wike, said today of all these? You people will not kill me. Anything my governor says, you people first of all call me and tell me, Abi. All right. And then this says, good evening, my people. We know that El Rufai is in pain. He only pretends to be having a nice vacation in Beirut. He's dying inside. No more political office for him to have his long... I'm not saying this. Okay, Felix from Mr. Darlington, please. Sorry, let's run through some messages very quickly, please. Then he says, this one has forgotten he is still human and isn't guaranteed tomorrow. What if he is the one who goes down? Abuja master plan. Government should publish these master plans so that everyone can know. Or even have a copy of it to avoid violation. Then not for any government in power to hide behind a shady and indeterminate master plan to carry out vendetta and take over legitimate properties from people in the name of master plan. He said very late now. They had the opportunity to, but blew it away. That is the merger. He said if this merger had come before the election, maybe it would have worked. Tinubu, they are planning against is also already planning for 2027 as an incumbent. So this is dead on arrival. If you can't defeat when he was just a candidate, you can't defeat him when he is incumbent. Dead on arrival. Meanwhile, who among them is going to be the candidate? Another confusion entirely again. That's what you said. Now, the measure cannot work. Obi, Atiku, and Kwankwaso cannot agree to pursue a common goal under one umbrella. But if Atiku, Kwankwaso can rally around Obi, they will grab the power from APC like this. But having Wike as the minister of the FCT signals to me what's cooking ahead. You see from Ijego sent in that message. And then he says, good evening. We now have balanced governance in Nigeria for the first time. Tinubu is president, Shetima is vice president, Wike as FCT. All other things are distractors. Kola Wole from Igondo sent in that. And then this is Precious and my brother Darlington. Though I don't know what might have prompted this speculation, yet I see possibility of a re-election than rerun. Believing that Tinubu escapes certificate, identity, palaver, and all that, P2B would have presented incontrovertible evidences that he was shortchanged with the blood result sheet and inability of the other candidates to make 25% in FCT, right? Needless for measure, cause obedience are still waxing stronger and stronger. Tony Anili from Ijegemo sent in that message. And Precious and Darlington is not between two top candidates. Please check the 2022 electoral law. Secondly, IREF shows LP won Benue and Rivers. So more states than even PDP and FCT. LP clearly won the federal FB 25th as submissive. You said a lot. So Simisola from Isola. So Mr. Darlington, he's saying that rerun is not between two top political parties, the two top positions. Is that correct? Because that's what I know from the law.
Well, then what did he say? Who did the rerun?
I don't know. So that's what he's saying here. He said that it's not between, he said that it's not between two top candidates. Please check the Electoral Act. The 2022 Electoral Act, rerun is always between the two top. In fact, that's why the president even stated it himself and said that if there's going to be a rerun, it's going to be between him and Atiku. He stated that. So if the Electoral Act says otherwise, why would a whole president come and say that?
No, maybe he has an electoral law that we don't know. Ask him to send us the
copy of the one that he has. Okay, all right. I just wanted to mention that very quickly. All right. So this Simisola from Isolo, you heard them. Just send us the one.
Send us the true position.
Chinedu from Badagry says, "Good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. This measure is just the imagination of enemies of democracy in Nigeria. Any rerun without P2B will definitely be the end of the so-called democracy in Nigeria. For the judiciary, we will have finally killed electioneering in Nigeria. All eyes on the judiciary. All this one, they talk. When I go talk, people don't know Nigeria. Well, let me just be keeping quiet. Okay, Moses from Ijeododo says if there is a rerun and Atiku emerges as the flag bearer of a merger, I don't think Atiku will win. Many Obedience will abstain, leaving the South East and South party faithfuls to be shared amongst the first two. Then APC will still win it because and you keep crying. That's the position. Mr. Darlington, you get the point.
I do.
If you're saying that because the person, your candidate is not in the ballot and you will not vote, then you will keep crying. You have another 8 years to cry. You keep wailing.
Besides,
so this is like, I don't want to say, this is like, it's a dicey decision, really.
Besides, with the level of hunger, and the man has the power of the pulse.
So what do? You have to choose. I'm not trying to.
This palliative, they will be dropping it in their doorsteps.
Well, let me just go back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening to you. Please help me turn up the volume of your radio set. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome. Good evening. Yes, please.
I'm Shagari by name.
Shagari, where are you calling from?
Shagari Estate.
I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay.
All right, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
The fact is this, you cannot deny the fact that, look, that brought with you. You should be aware that the reason why Atiku failed this election, when power did not change, is because of Obi.
How?
Obi have respected himself to join Atiku as one body.
Just calm down. Let's take it one by one. He said if Obi had respected himself to join Atiku as one body, why do you think that if Atiku had also respected himself and joined Obi? Why do you not think that?
Northerner just left office now.
Atiku cannot join him because Atiku senior him in politics.
So how come? I'm coming to you. How about if Atiku says, you know what, I be big boy for this game. I don't already play. I'm tired. You know what? Let me kukuma retire. But I throw my weight behind you. Obi, go ahead. How about if that happened?
Abi?
Yes. If Obi has come to Lagos in politics, Atiku is his father. Let's not be sentimental about that. Now, if his wife has come to him and said, Daddy, this is what I'm expecting you to do. This is what the majority wants, and this is what we want. You know the people to reach that will speak this to Atiku. For we to survive this. And let me be honest to you. You know that these men are not signing anything like signature. It is we, the youth, that sign this signature for them. If your brother is under that, under Tinubu as it is, he will not tell us, he will not come home and tell me that I want to fight this fight, the angle to start from. Because he's doing well under ABC. You understand? You know where I'm heading to.
I'm trying to really understand. I am trying very hard because it looks like you're rigmaroling. I'm trying very hard to understand where you're really heading to, right? So in all of this, I did ask a question. What do you think about the merger? And let me get your take on it, because so far you've just been, going around. Can you tell me your sincere opinion about the merger?
What I'm trying to say is this: going to come back another election again for presidential post will not work. You know why?
Why?
These men are strong. You understand? You can see the area they spoke from that if this man finishes 8 years, we should not contest again. You see where they start the tackling from now. Now, if they are trying to come as one, Atiku, Kwankwaso, and Obi are coming to come as one, and now this man is saying the only person that can survive that is Obi. So Atiku system, it cannot work because you can't take this politics. Yes, you can't take politics from these men. That is true.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
If they want it to be, if they allow us to do free and fair election, that is where we can come in.
So you believe, just calm down. So you're saying that you believe that if there is actually a free and fair election, Obi can win, even if these people contest.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you do not believe there will be free and fair election. So that's why you doubt it.
There's none.
Thank you.
They can't be free and fair election.
All right, thank you so much, Musa.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, Musa. Wow. Okay, interesting. Hello, good evening to you.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Unfortunately, you called me when I have like 1 minute to jump in on a quick break. Would you be on the line and wait for that 1 minute? It's just a 1 minute break.
I'll wait.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I didn't ask you your name, please. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Leon. I'm calling from Dallas.
All right, Leon, you're
Texas.
welcome. You're welcome. We'll join you just shortly after the break. Please stay with us. Thank you.
By 8 a.m. prompt, you are expected to fast all through Thursday, preceding the program, and attend the program on Friday the 25th with a bottle of oil and a written list of the problems in your life that you want God to attend to. Dr. D.K. Olukoya, the General Overseer of the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries, will be ministering live in this program. Prepare and be there. The God of Elijah answers by fire.
Good evening to you. We're still on to 90.3 Voice of the People FM. Back to you, Leon from Dallas. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hello, Mr. Leon. You're welcome back. Sorry, thank you so much for staying, with us. Go ahead, let's hear you. So you wanted to react to the conversation.
Yeah, quickly. You have to understand one of the big things is that it's not everybody that is going to make a call to you on your program that understand fully what is going on and also understand your topic. English is quite a difficult language sometimes. It's not our language. You cannot blame people. So, but it's good sometimes you direct them as to what you are looking for in terms of their contribution. It's clearly written on that they're trying to make a measure. What do you think about these people making a measure? To me, I don't think there should be a measure. Let the court actually, the court decision is not even out, and people are thinking maybe they have information that does not have. But let's wait and hear from the parties concerned. Obi has his followers, Atiku has his followers, Kwankwaso has his followers, right? This has demonstrated what the obedience were telling the Kwankwasias back then, and they were saying that people like Buba Galadima was emphasizing that no, Obi is a small boy. It's a small boy. Kwankwaso has 7 PhDs and all whatnot. But see what the results demonstrated. Even with all, if they say the results were free and fair, we know who actually would have won. But in this case, let everybody understand that Obi is to reckon with. Whether they like it or not, the younger generation is the one that will make the shift.
Exactly.
And we have seen it.
Exactly.
That if an average Nigerian understands the suffering and things are going to change, let Nigerians stand firm on this. Let them not shy away from participation in elections. Let them come out in full force, because you cannot stay and not fight and expect to have a better life. You have to go and fight. And the way to fight is go through the ballot and make that change. They already know.
So, Mr. Black, the question still remains, right? If perhaps the judiciary decides to say, you know what, from what we're looking at now, let's have a rerun and not a re-election. Let's have a rerun. Considering that Obi will not be in the ballot for the rerun, what do you think will happen?
No, I cannot even fathom the fact that on the ballot.
I mean, it's presumption. We're all presuming, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because it will be unfair to Nigerians. I don't know how Nigerians are going to react, because the people are angry. The only thing that has held Nigeria at bay right now, the youths of Nigeria at bay right now, that they are not reacting, the younger generation of Nigeria that they are not reacting, is outcome of the presidential election tribunal.
So I understand that you're trying to avoid answering that question, but let me ask you again. So if there is a re-election now, not a rerun, Obi is in the ballot.
No,
do you see Obi winning the incumbent? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu winning Atiku Abubakar? Do you see Obi winning the two of them, especially the incumbent? Do you think that will happen under the present day Nigeria? Abi, in the present day Nigeria?
It's very possible.
Oh, wow.
It is very possible. Yes, it is very possible. And I'll tell you why. Because Nigerians are not fools. Let nobody undermine or underestimate Nigerians.
Mr. Leo, you don't even understand. I'm not talking about Nigerians. I'm talking about, it's human beings out. Is it not human beings that conducted the last election? It's human beings that conducted the last elections. So whether you like it or not, it is human beings that conduct the elections. And that's what we're talking about.
Okay, let's put it this way. If today I got beaten by a snake today on a particular road, don't you know that coming through that road, I'll be cautious to go through that road?
Exactly.
How cautious can you be to beat this order, this particular order? I want you to give me the gimmicks, the style, the tactics. You know, there must be a game plan to beat the order, because beating this order will not be an easy task. Mr. Darlington, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Is the people that will, the people are going to rise up and make sure what happened before will not happen this time around.
Exactly.
Nigerians, the youths, let me put it this way. They are quiet now. Any outcome of what is going the presidential election tribunal, any outcome, watch and see what happens in Nigeria. The reaction of the electorate. And those people, if people in the past were threatened and they still went to the polls and were lynched and they still went to the polls, watch what is going to happen. They know that is happening. I'm sorry about my language. They are seeing what is going on in Nigeria today, and of course, they will react differently this time around. First fool. Second fool is a true fool. First fool, you can give them excuse. Second fool, not true fool.
Are you sure they've not been fool for the past 20-something years? It's okay, Mr. Leon, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
But then there was a change. There were people who said that Obi will not even have 100,000 votes.
Exactly.
That even 2,000 votes will not come from Kaduna.
Yes.
But they were shocked
It's true.
So things are, they were not even prepared, and this time around they will not even be prepared. Because the time to prepare
when the incumbent has every apparatus of government at their
he doesn't.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. Liam. Thank you so much.
Let me ask something here. You see,
go ahead.
If they do a rerun or even a re-election, Tinubu has already destroyed the goodwill, the little goodwill he has with his policy so far. Are you telling me with what people are going through today, they will happy to say, "Yeah, go"?
It will shock you, Mr. Darlington.
No, it's not.
It will shock you.
No, I don't think so. Look, in the first place.
By the way, I hope you heard from the Kunkum that oil marketers are saying there is a subtle reintroduction of subsidy.
That's what I'm telling you.
Maybe you're hearing it.
Hold on. You are going back to your.
You think there is no smoke without fire? No, I'm going to somewhere, but it's not my mouth to hear what I'm going to.
I know very well. I even told you that thing he said will not work. I told you. I already know that yes, they are bringing subsidy back. All they need to do what? Then what do you think will be the reaction of the public? Did you ever believe that somebody will lose Lagos in a presidential election? No, did you ever believe it? That Tinubu will lose Lagos State? Did you ever?
All right.
So it can happen though. With the policy so far, people are already angry. They are waiting for an opportunity.
Okay, so let me take a few more messages. This says, good evening, my people. My name is Kunle from Festac Town, and I want to stand and be with what Mr. Darlington is saying, because things in that APC would never muster that vote they get in the last elections, because they have now seen that they have no roadmap and nothing to offer in Nigeria. Wallahi, that's what he said.
Exactly.
You finish and we wallahi. Emperor then says, Precious, what you basically said about Obi not going to partake in rerun, I don't think it's a good information. Just so you know, if all the stolen votes, please don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. I beg. Not be me talk. Now waiting law talk. So don't come for me, please. This is not about whether stolen or not. I am not the judges that will give the verdict. But just discussing an issue, yeah? So he said if all the stolen votes is allocated to the rightful owner, which is Obi, for instance, he stands a chance of being declared the winner. If he's not allocated, what will not happen? And I say, on the other hand, if Obi comes second after the stolen votes is restored to him, but maybe not enough to declare him outright winner, then he can also be part of the rerun. This one you're doing is vivid imagination.
But you must have proved that some of his votes were stolen.
I know, but have you heard the verdict of the judiciary?
But that's what we are speculations.
That's of the speculation. We're speculating, assuming their speculation, assuming their mind does not even go to that area at all. What would happen?
Remember that APC did not even defend their argument in court. They did not even say
Mr. Darlington, this is the same judiciary we're just talking about now. I hope you understand. All right, let's go to the next comment. This says, Mark from Agege says, good evening, Mr. Darlington. PDP is part of the party that destroyed Nigeria. See that thing I was telling you? It's a fact that a cow could have won the... Okay, I'm not reading that. So PDP seems like a better option because the APC has taken the field further. Diama, you cannot blame anyone that has decided not to vote anymore after the election in 2023. If Obi goes into a merger with Atiku, he better becomes the candidate. Anything less, there will be voter apathy. People go tired. Don't blame it. People go tired. Don't blame it. They go continue to suffer for the tire. What I'm trying to say is to also sanitize our mind that giving up is not an option. That's the point I'm trying to make. Giving up in the ballot and saying I'm not going to do again should not be an option. You keep fighting. And the change that you expect does not come one day. It takes a gradual process. Even if it means you compromising a while and then moving further. But you surely will get that change. But saying that you will not, they look your face, the things will continue. Because life would go, governance must continue. Nothing will stop governance. It will continue. And if you like, don't come out. Election, they will bring votes. It will shock you the number of millions they will come out. That you'll be surprised at the number of millions of people that will tell you that came out to vote. And you'll be shocked when you see the result. That your own is even insignificant. That's the point. So giving up is never an option. If you ensure that no matter what happens, you're resilient and you would come out and ensure that your vote counts, whether you believe that it counts or not. Do you understand?
People will come out.
Gradually, that's change. We'll get to that change. Mrs. Ilo says, good evening to you all in the studio. In all indication, PDP was far far better than the APC in governing this country. We need a change of leadership in this country. Let's give Peter Obi a chance to save this country. That's what Mrs. Ilo said. And then he says, good evening, President Darlington. If there should be a rerun, Peter Obi should merge with Atiku and Kwankwaso, then help them, because 2027, Peter Obi can relax. He will need them by 2027 general election. We need Peter Obi as president, not vice at all. Ike from Mushi sent in that message. You don't want to take vice. You see, Mr. Darlington, these are people matter they talk about like this. And then he says, good evening, honorable moderator Precious. This is what we add honorable to the moderator like this. You don't give me portfolio. I say, first of all, I thank you for correcting Mr. Darlington. I've always said he's a contradicting man. He's just existing to be condemning President Tinubu and APC. I want Mr. Darlington to understand that party and governance are two different things. Election has come and gone. What we would or should be expecting is good governance and renewed hope. Tinubu and Buhari are two different entities. They are not the same. Buhari is different from Tinubu. They'll not be the same thing. When Buhari didn't do well, doesn't mean that Tinubu will not perform wonderfully well. Tinubu is a strategic master planner. I strongly believe he will perform better than what he did in Lagos State. I'm 100% confident of President Tinubu. Mr. Darlington is a joker. He's just been tribalistic and presuming wrongly, condemning APC and PDP. Peter Obi is not going anywhere, even if Mr. Darlington campaigns more than that for Peter Obi. Peter Obi is... They say he's a selfish man moving from one party to the other. I expect Peter Obi to have been loyal to Atiku. Precious, believe me, there's possibility that they should or they would have won the past election against Tinubu that made Tinubu the president if they had merged. Prince Magic Femi Magic Kudumi sent that message. That your friend before the war. He's the one that sent the message. He's the one that sent the message. That your friend before the war. He could down type and plenty for you so that you hear what. Good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. I'm always enjoying the program. Keep speaking on behalf of the people till the politicians will hear us. Mary from Ijego sent in that message. And then this says, I agree with Remy from Akoka. Number one, this speculation is propaganda testing ground for tribunal miscarriage of justice. Secondly, many obedience won't participate in the rerun. Precious, please stop promoting unconfirmed rumors. Matthew from Alaba International. I am not promoting unconfirmed news, and it's very unfortunate that you think and could say that it's very, very unfortunate, because the only thing I carry is something that is in a verified news platform of Nigeria, and so it's not unconfirmed. Please, I beg you. All right, thank you. I appreciate you. I understand your concerns. I see, that's what I said about being emotional. Sometimes we attach too much emotions to these things. I understand where we are, and this hardship or the pain is not only you feeling it. I'm feeling it more than you. So, I mean, Chima from Afoluku says, since these politicians have obviously proved that winning election in Nigeria is strategic and not by our vote, then the strategy of merging both Obi, Atiku and Kwankwaso will vote this government out and bring in a new government that will change the country for better. That's exactly what I think too. I mean, that measure would be a bomb. It would be bombastic. Good evening, Precious. Well, Minister has been sworn in. Let's job start on measure by PDP, LP, NNPP. Let the tribunal judgment come first. But they from Isolo sent in that message. Okay, let me go back to my phone line. Jejeli. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm Mr. Oscar calling from Badagry.
Mr. Oscar, you're welcome. Go ahead. Oscar, we used to see your message a lot. Oh, yeah, fire down.
Okay, yes. I want to, but you will not have money on the Wike ministerial appointment. How he threatened Brim and son to put people's house down.
Did you not hear when I read it? I even played his voice when he was saying it.
I heard.
So what do you want me to do now?
No, I just want to say he should follow due process. The Verify did it. God say Verify. If it's to put people structure down, you should follow due process. You should go to court.
You go tell him now. As you tell him now, I should say go hear you now.
That's what I'm saying now. All because it's our brother now. We don't want him to fail. He should go and come back successfully. For the measure they are trying to drag, I don't know. Some people say it's speculation, or people say it's imagination. But my own is that if they merge together, fine and good. If they can, but how can they merge together at this time? Can it really work out successfully? But if it works out successfully, I would be very happy for them. Who will be the leading figure?
That is the problem.
Because some people will not like to play second fiddle. They want to become a leading figure.
Absolutely.
So who will be the leading figure?
Absolutely, you're correct.
Yes, who will be the leading figure? Because the other time, you see how they were campaigning against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So who will lead the process if they are merging together? Who will play the leading role?
So this same question, this part of the question I was asked through at you. You're throwing it back to me. Mm-hmm. Come and be going.
No,
Thank
I'm
you.
not throwing back to you.
You're giving me back the same question. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Atiku has been trying over the years, and he has not succeeded. Obi just came out once and made such an impact. Does it not come into you that Obi would have done something more marvelous?
So do you also consider the fact that Obi is Atiku's boy, and why would you want a master to bend for Atiku, just like Shagari said when he called us?
You see, in a game like this, there is no master whatever. The thing is winning the game. That is what is important here. Atiku has been trying now. Look at how many times he tried. He failed. Is that not why Tinubu called him a serial loser? So if he was not popular and all that, he wouldn't have gone this far. How many parties did he run to? He was even a member of APC before. Remember, they fielded him, yet he failed. So Obi, in fact,
but he did not contest election under APC. You know that, Mr. Darlington. He didn't contest election under APC.
They gave him tickets.
No, he did not. It was President Buhari that got the ticket for 2019. He joined APC in 2014 whilst to support Buhari's candidacy to oust PDP.
I was telling you that he contested, but Buhari won him in their primary. He was
primaries.
Yes,
okay.
He didn't win it. That's what I'm telling you. He was there as a presidential candidate, but he lost. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
So if Obi came out first time and he pulled such a crowd, you don't need anybody to tell you that this man is going somewhere.
All right, Mr. Darlington, but that again does not also solve, the equation that we're looking at. Who takes the lead? And how does that lead happen?
Precious, please.
How do they even get to the truce?
Let me tell you.
To a truce.
In a political game like this, it is the people that determine the end game. All these things that Nigeria cannot get it right, the system has been structured in this and that. They have not read the history of the Western world. They were worse than us in their early days. I'm telling you. But the people fought. Rosa Parks, a woman, fought to liberate the blacks in America. When she refused to stand up for a white man to sit down, that was where the protest started. I have a dream. I don't know why people just want all of us to remain where we are.
All right, let's go back to the phone.
We cannot.
All right. Hello, good evening to you. All right. Please help me turn off the volume of our radio set if you'd like to call us back. This says the real expectation of rational thinking Nigerians for now is not whom should form a measure, but an individual with true mindsets to bring about a new Nigeria that Nigerians are clamoring for. The main point of measure, as I see it in this case, is to rescue power from the APC. To me, it's not the main problem of Nigeria, but a new Nigeria of Nigerians' dream. The only patriotic Nigeria from the south whom to me can revive Nigeria is Peter Obi, Shawori, and Pastor Bakari. Apart from these individuals, I don't see a new Nigeria in place for now from Agege. So since you don't see a new Nigeria, what will now happen? You see the question I'm asking. Remy from Akoka says, okay, yeah, the message you've sent. He said, I laugh with the way you and Mr. Darlington kept saying those who choose not to support the measure will keep crying. As the misgovernance of APC will only affect a set of people, is it too much to demand justice? So Remy, you refuse to get my point actually. So you're not getting my point. What you further says, why not keep encouraging the people to demand justice based on the facts presented? If the justice system can't be trusted, then what else can be trusted? Or you think the same people that use the system to declare a candidate the winner will fold their arms and watch you to have your way? If it's that possible, we won't be in court by now questioning the process as if you and I aren't living in the same country. So Remy, I think you really don't get the point. All of this thing you're saying is still coming back to you. Do you understand? I mean, this is not a curse, right? What I mean is that the question you're asking is still coming back to what we said. Okay, so you're saying that perhaps the situation does not go, or you don't get justice that you're clamoring for. Then you hands up. You say keep fighting for justice. How do you keep fighting for justice? That's the point. You go on the street to protest. For how long? How many times have people gone out to protest? What has happened to them? Hello?
You go and vote.
So you keep going out to protest, and what will keep happening? And government will continue. Whether you protest from today to tomorrow, government will continue. So what do you do to beat the order? That's the question I'm asking. If you think that, you can't join them because you don't want to join the same corrupt thing, you don't want to do, then how do you penetrate and beat them? There must be a way out for you. Not saying that you want to you want to stay away from government, you will not vote again, and then you keep clamoring for justice. For how long will you continue? It could take you another 16 or 20 years to keep asking for justice. If the justice does not come, will you bring justice down from heaven? That's the question I'm asking. I mean, this is not like it's the first time anybody would clamor for justice in Nigeria. Mr. Darlington, I beg, is this the first time that we're saying justice should be done? Is it the first time? This is not the first time. So if it doesn't happen, what do you do? Is Gani not dead today? Do you understand me? So that's the point. I mean, we should be intelligent about this, and we should keep our emotions aside and, act rationally, really. I mean, if there's anything, if that's a thing to go by, really. All right. So, Samson says, from Ijeoma says, I can never vote for Atiku in my life because there will be no difference between the president of Jagaban government Atiku coming in. I will advise Obi to stay there, to stay clear of any barbaric measure. No go. It's a no need of choice between the bad and the baddest. May God spare our life till 2027. Atiku should be queuing behind an eloquent Obi, even though I would rather prefer Obi to stay clear of any association with all those that plunder the country to its present state of free decision making. You said a lot. Okay, so you see, that's the point I'm still trying to make. Well, it's okay. I like the fact that everyone is airing their thoughts the way they should. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Oh, Mr. Tony, you're welcome. Good evening.
Yeah. Greeting to Mr. Darlington too.
He can hear you.
Yes. No, let me start. Darlington, you have to take it slow in throwing a bomb against APC people and Tinubu. I beg you. I want you to be alive. I beg you.
What is that?
Please help me tell him to take it easy.
Take it easy, I beg. Coming to my own opinion about this rumor coming together of Obi, Atiku, and Kwankwaso. If there is any, go and mark it today, if there's any re-election today, or whatever they call it, Atiku will be the next president. The Northerners will never do what they did before again. The last time I heard Northerners calling that Tinubu is trying to do the worst state in Nigeria, people heard it. In this the government of Tinubu, they are silent. How many times are you seeing what was the VP talking? They know it's a stooge there. The Northerners kept quiet. Anything that happened for Kwankwaso, remember Kwankwaso met with Tinubu in London, France. Why did they work out again? Now going back to Atiku, meeting them, there's a rumor now going on. And they know they can only get it right with Obi. That's the political under game going on now. They know that with Obi, they are taking over.
So do you see them? Do you see Kwankwaso and Atiku supporting Obi's candidacy? Maybe Atiku cannot be vice anyway. So maybe Kwankwaso being the vice.
What I think they might do, there was a rumor that Atiku said that he will only be the president for one tenure. There's a rumor before. Atiku said it.
Yeah, he said it.
Atiku said he will only govern Nigeria just for once. And I know Atiku might do that just because he wants to be the president. He has been the vice president. And he cannot be Atiku to go down to be the vice under anybody. And he cannot tell. Atiku has the population too. PDP is more popular than LP. Let's just forget everything.
They have the spread. They have more spread. They have the spread more than Labour Party. Yeah, they have more spread. So that's certain. In fact, they have more spread even more than APC themselves. You know that, right?
Exactly. So if they really want to take up power from APC, because they know if they didn't take power from APC, Tinubu will come back as next president next term. Because the Tribunal know the game. He will not concentrate in his government and know the game. But for now, if there is a rerun election, I go and mark it. I'm not.
So you think that if there is a rerun election, there is a possibility, higher chance of Atiku winning, whether there is a rerun election whether there is a re-election or rerun.
And who are the people that go to the election? It's not another than two. They know the game. They know the game too. Obi don't know how to rig.
And it's impossible for us to have free and fair election. Is that what you're saying?
Well, listen, the northern will tell you if you need free, they give you. If you need rig, they will rig it for you. Nanata, you hear cow will go and do BVN and vote. So let us. I'm precious. I'm not telling you to. I'm joking. I'm not planning or laughing. Atiku is next president coming to Nigeria. Just go and mark it that. That's why they only get Obi, but Obi will find problem to convince the obedience. That's the problem. Obi will find because Obi.
And the reason they want to be in the first place is for him to convince obedience in the first place, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. For people like Remina that is saying that if Obi is not going there, they would not go. How do you beat the order? Because you must look for a way to beat the order.
No, precious. It will not be in a day job for Obi. It will be a serious. You have to call the inside one. They start talking to their porters. The way they talk to them, they will not say okay and start having a change of mind. For now, Obida will say no. But we tell you, if you say no till tomorrow, you're not going to be in the government. To change Nigeria, if it's outside, you cannot repair what is.
So you have to come inside.
To your house.
You're right.
Yes. So if they give Obi a good assurance, probably give it back to the vice president.
And telling him that after one tenure he will be the president.
We must accept, yeah.
You work, and once he did the job very well, I don't think to be the president, the other will not make a friend.
Don't forget that Nyesom Wike is still a PDP member. Is it not going to cost a lot of destabilization in PDP?
The worst thing that can happen to
Wike. Come and be going. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Hello. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please. The reason you're talking about is not between two candidates that has the highest vote. Apart from the winner of the election, the next person is somebody who have scored more than 50% in a state. If you look at Anambra, P2B cleared Anambra. If you look at Imo State, he cleared Imo State. Atiku did not score more, even the place that he won. He did not score more of the 50% in those areas. That's the reason why the person said that you should look at the Electoral Act. Okay. It's not all about somebody who have the more number of counted votes. It's about the state that you won. Do you won the election with more than 50 or more than 50% in that place? That's the numbers of the states that you won with more than 50%. That's what should be counted.
I appreciate that. I'll look through
Thank
it
you
again.
very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mr. Darlington, you're saying no, you're disagreeing.
No, it's not.
Well,
it's not.
Let's hear your disagreement.
Because one, the electoral law is very clear. Are you getting what I'm saying? What he's saying can only count if you are looking at states. But here, this is national spread. Don't expect what happened in Imo, because everybody knows that was an aberration. Maybe that's what it was looking at. It was an aberration. Unfortunately, the man that gave the minority judgment concerning Imo is now late. Wednesday. But this one is saying now, it is very clear. There is no way a rerun will be between Obi and the Tinubu. Atiku, what do you not tell Atiku? I mean, it's not possible. It's not possible. Because the electoral law is very clear. Except that he's talking of a re-election. where the three of them can go in. But I don't see how a rerun will be between Obi and Tinubu. Then you say Atiku with the vote he has. How do you discountenance that? How? It's not possible. Look, all of them won 25% in most of the states. So are you getting it? That's why they said Atiku won 24 states. Tinubu won 21 states. Three people can win 25% of the vote in a state. Can't you get it? Atiku won 24% of the 24% of the states, and Tinubu the same 21. So how do you? People were asking how many states we have. They have not gone to read this thing between the lines and know exactly what it is saying. 3-4 people can win more than 25% of the in a state, in a particular state, and you will count it for them. It doesn't have to be one person.
3 people can actually win. In fact, 4 people can win 25%.
Yes, yes.
It's 100% vote, and you can all get 25%.
Exactly. So that's what they are trying to shy away from. I don't know where they are. It's not possible for this run to be between Obi and Tinubu. It's not possible. Atiku is second. You can't throw him.
All right, so I'm going to YouTube now, and your YouTube people want to chop me raw. So is it Chibogu? Obi says, Precious, sometimes you're playing the devil's advocate. Why would you have to pinpoint P2B of all people for not being in the ballot? Who is the most qualified among them? Among the 3? Why not use Tinubu as an example instead of P2B? Guys, calm down. You guys be calming down. He said, Ina says, know that he was never qualified. Well, so somebody knows that he was not qualified. You said a lot. You guys not gonna need to take this thing like this. Not be so easy. Medipi says they are the worst example. We want freedom at this stage. And Goldie Obadi says only the truth can save you people. Until then, Nigerians will continue to lament eternity till eternity away. And then he says they are not walking in the truth. How can they know the truth? Okay. And Aro Babadeji says in one of obedience meeting today was that if they merge, what we want is that we want our P2B and Dati. Oh, so you guys are the meeting, Abi? Okay. Middle P says, but it's more than like that in Nigeria. Okay. No, okay. Chuku, Obiajonwa says, if there is a rerun, it will only be between Tinubu and P2B. Go read the constitution. Precious, last caller was right. It's the 1999 constitution that you, Mr. Darlington, you're talking about, and not the present constitution. Is that what you're saying?
Is the constitution and the electoral law?
It's the electoral act you're actually talking about. The 2022 electoral act. Because it's now an act, because it's been passed. A law, in fact. Okay, so let me, Babiji from Oshodi says, Tinubu knows, himself testifies. Okay, say, okay. Please, the truth still remains that the vast majority of us voted for P2B. Both Atiku, Tinubu, etc. knows this. For a truth, Wike himself testified to it immediately after the election. Please, judicial court, court of judicial, Nigerians are on our knees pleading with you people to do the right thing and return our stolen mandate by Aineka Yakubu Mahmoud. Babeji, thank you so much. And then this says, good evening, Precious and Darlington. The possibility of a rerun between just APC and PDP is very slim. Reason being that the election on which the first and second opposition was gotten was highly fraudulent, invalid, and unreliable. So that's why a re-election will rather be valid. Is that what you're saying? Ina said the incontrovertible evidence presented at the tribunal has proved that beyond reasonable doubt. So I see a total cancellation of the election result and a fresh one ordered. So Mr. Darlington, the thing about a fresh election is that we will have a fresh election and we'll have another fresh election. We'll have another fresh election, if you understand what I'm saying. Because if there's a fresh election and people also deem it as being fraudulent, people will go to court again. And we'll go back, we'll keep running around same circle again.
No. At a point, we'll get it right. At a point, it may not be like
so if there is a fresh election now, I'm considering...
INEC did. You know, that one was so brazen. What INEC did was so brazen. That is why people are angry.
All right, let's visit phone lines briefly. We'll get back to you on that thought. Mr. Darlington, should we do step down today? Good evening to you. Hello, good evening.
With this hot topic.
Good evening, please.
Good evening, Precious, my love.
Ewo, who is loving me? My friend from
From North Carolina, USA.
Hey, remind me your name now, Benny Mukoma. Mukoma Benny. You're welcome. The one that gave me 110%.
Exactly.
That Mr. Ola gave to Darlington alone. I remember you. Well, you're welcome. How are you?
So, because of that percentage, you are now...
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello?
Go ahead.
What
Mr. Darlington is jealous. He's okay. He's fine. I've silenced his mic. Go ahead.
What I wanted to say is, please, they shouldn't make a mistake, saying that it's clothing Obi. You understand? Obi is the most qualified. And at this point, youth are keeping silent just because of, they want to be peace abiding and stuff like that, Nobody want to make trouble right now. But at this point, with the way Nigeria there, people are ready to go all out. You understand? If they do the wrong thing. People are ready to add, put in even their life. They don't care because they want to. You have to fight for your nation. You understand? Everybody just keeping silent because of the judiciary to see what they will do next. And I feel like the way I feel as a youth too, everybody they're ready to go all out. You understand? So now my own take.
Now your take
no
with
matter
that.
how they do. Yes. Now my own.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome there.
All right.
Do you know the funny aspect of
What's
this?
it?
APC know that something went wrong. They know.
Are you sure?
No, even the day Tinubu was talking that after the election, he said that he know that we did not vote for him. You remember that statement? He said it. That we are not happy that he is here and we are the other side. That was that night. He said it, that he knows that we did not vote for him. Go back to that statement. He's aware. Most APC people will tell you that something went wrong. They know. Even this INEC, everybody, the international observer, everybody is aware. So even if they cancel the election, APC will not raise an eyebrow because they know what they did. Tinubu was even appealing for a run. You heard when he said it that he should do the run with Atiku. So why was he saying that? He cannot claim that he did not know what happened. When Yaradua had the same thing, he came out and said, look, the election that brought me to power was fraudulent. And he put up it was one that started this electoral reform. And they put Justice Ways.
But what is the essence of the electoral reform if we're still where we are now? With the entire, we were all happy and excited about the new electoral act.
Don't worry yourself.
But at the end of the day, what's the essence if we're still where we are?
Mahmoud Yakubu, he has soiled his name. I am praying.
But he's still the INEC chairman. So if there is a possible re-election or rerun, he's still the one going to conduct it.
Precious, the prodigal son repented and came back to his father. The prodigal son repented.
Mr. Darlington, let me go to the phone lines.
Yes.
Since you said we should not have a step down, our phone lines are buzzing. Hello, good evening to you.
Precious, good evening.
Yes, good evening. The way you called me, to say my papa never died, I will say, what's happened? Are you my father?
Mr. Darlington, good evening.
What is your name? Please remind us, and where are you calling from?
This is Tayo calling from Ogba.
Tayo, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
You are mixing it up. Precious.
Okay, sir.
Rerun and re-election is the same thing. You are talking of runoff. When it is runoff, only 2 candidates will be on the ballot.
You're right.
It's called our runoff.
You're right.
Rerun, all the candidates will be on the ballot.
There. Thank you. Let me check.
Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington. He's correct, right? Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Tayo. Tayo, thank you so much. Tayo. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me go through a few messages here. Good evening, Precious. My name is Chukudi. Nigeria and their mentality share. Was it this godfatherism of politics in Nigeria all about? The youth is in search of fresh hands and to man the activities of government in Nigeria. Well, this is your message. There is a lot of typo error. Chinedu from Badagry and says, Tinubu knows that any rerun with Atiku will be a landslide victory for him. But that will definitely create chaos and anarchy. The youth will then cause mayhem and Nigeria may become history. Obi is a man to watch and the meaning of all eyes on the judiciary. That's why the Kukuma removed the eyes. Lowry from Egbeda says, so we are now assuming the court rules. Okay, I thought according to you. Okay, all right. This is in the news, though. So it is anything that is in the news that I'm carrying. I do not. In fact, with what is in the news, they said there's already been talks, and that these parties are saying perhaps the judgment goes this way or this way, right? Okay. So I do not agree that there is any rerun Obi will not be in ballot. Go and listen to what Festus Okoye said regarding any rerun. Okay, Joy from about Joy, I would ensure I put that out and I'll let you know. Precious, to me, there is not going to be no money to waste. Also, people are just presuming what is going to be. Mr. Darlington is an enemy of progress of Tinubu's government. Other guests you have been inviting are more logical in their comments. If I never yap this, my Darlington, I'm not going to let him rest. He says, if Peter Obi refuses to submit to Atiku, he would not go anywhere and he can never win presidential election because I don't see any difference between APC, PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP. They're all the same thing. I don't see any difference between all of them because they are all products of the same party source. Peter Obi has nothing to offer Nigerians. Peter Obi government will be worse because he's not ripe to rule. Are you serious? He's not ripe to rule Nigeria. Really? How did the press? How you go use not the person not ripe? You go press some like you press ripe apple or mango. Sorry. Say this mango never soft. He never ripe rich. How do you know? Oh, wow. And then he says, good evening, Precious. The caller was very correct. If they are forming a merger now, why wouldn't they couldn't they form a merger before the election? So now that they all lost, they realized their mistake. I don't clear, Abi. Okay. Forming a merger defeats the whole purpose of exiting PDP in the first place. All right, Emma from first, that was the first.
No, necessity is the mother
of all invention.
It has become necessary now.
Okay, all right. Emma from First Act then says, I looked at the progression PDP taught about. PDP taught APC how to be corrupt, and APC elevated the arts. Let's not forget that they had plans to keep ruling this country for 60 years. Now that they are not in power, they are beginning to sound like the APC during the protest years. The PDP could not overcome their ruling mindsets. Hence, their lack and unity and feeling of entitlement, and prefer to tear each other apart in the desperation back to the suckle bottle. Now that the APC has the button, they wouldn't let go. Even with their own infighting, PDP will do worse. If by chance they get power, they just do each other. They'll just outdo each other. So who's not the best? Because even the Labour Party also broke out from the PDP. Everybody came from somewhere. Hello. Okay. If the judiciary decides a rerun, it will be between Obi, Tinubu, and Atiku. And I want to assure you that Obi will win. You'll be shocked that Obi will win. On Obi joining force with Kwankwaso Atiku is not true. I don't believe that he can do that because he has a strong belief that he will reclaim his mandate. My name is Omo from Alimosho. Thanks. My greetings to Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington, collect your greetings. And he says, if the judiciary will not declare the winner from all facts provided, a rerun will be worse. March 18 was child's play. We might as well carry on the status quo. Semisola from Isola. That is actually my fear because there is no need. Good evening, Precious and my dear Darlington. Precious, it seems to me that you are APC, but it will shock you when Tribunal announces Peter Obi as the winner of the election because people are passing through hell to make ends meet. Prince Ayotek. So as people are passing through hell, me, I'm passing through ice. Abi, there is no hell touching me. I'm passing through ice. You guys will be all right. I must sound the way you want me to sound before you know that, oh no, come on. My job is to be just, and that's what I'm doing. Hello, my name is Kunle Major from First Act Town, and I want to ask if I can also call you to contribute to the work. Why not? Call on, brother. And then this says, okay. Okay, so so this person gave me a screenshot of where the Vanguard newspaper has it that I said, Precious, the candidate in a rerun election will be the second or third in line according to this publication. And they said the second candidate will be on the ballot will be amongst the remaining candidates after the first person who have the majority of votes in the highest number of states. That's who has more votes in higher states. who has the highest number of votes, majority of highest number of votes in the majority of states. So meaning that the person who won more states.
More states.
Okay.
That is it.
All right. And then this says, Precious, the judgment has not been given, but you always tell people where there is evidence, and Obi has given us much concrete evidence to back up this case. And you are telling us that they didn't look towards that side. Precious, it's wrong. Wow. Calm down now. I am reflecting on what's on the papers, right? So this says the news about the parties merging is, he say, who would be president and who would be vice? Who is that? He say, how is that even visible? Feasible, you mean? Unless you talk about the possibilities of them merging for 2027 elections. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's okay. You can actually go through your points without calling names, because that just shows how low your mind is if you just go about calling people names. And several times I tell you that whatever news that I bring out, that story was even basically on Arise today, Sev. It was even discussed.
Yeah,
it's on Arise today, and it's this day newspaper, the mother, the sister publication to Arise newspaper that wrote that story. So what are you coming at me for? So I should not carry story that is in the news so that it doesn't so that it shouldn't make you unhappy. Come on. That man that called talking about P2B calling him bad names is one of the killer of the country, and he is among the people that caused trouble during the election. Mrs. Ilo from Ogun State, calm down now, madam. Please be calming down. And then he says, in one of the obedience meetings today was that if they merge, what we want is that we want Obi and Dati. Okay, you said that before. Prince Yomi Gold says, I love your program and you're indeed doing very well. And my regards to Darlington, I appreciate you. Please, my point is that you should please stop I should stop disrupting the callers. Don't tell me what to do.
So that they will say what they like.
Don't tell me what to do. And let me also disrupt your message to tell you not to tell me what to do, because I'm doing my job. Please, please. I am doing my job to the best level I can, and that's the right thing I'm doing. Precious. Good evening, people. People has rated Tinubu, and his capacity is known to honest and true Nigerian will vote Tinubu, and we are waiting. He said people have rated him and his capacity is known to be true. He said if eventually P2B is not in the ballot, I think he will direct obedience on what to do. Odaba says that maybe he will direct obedience to vote for P2B. All right, to vote for Tinubu. You can see what Buhari Minister of Road and Transportation said because of traffic on the road. And he answered them that Buhari government is favoring them. That is why people are buying cars every day. When he knows that people are dying of hunger. You can see APC. I call them evil. Well, you said a lot. My own is that Obi is the brightest of this country, but it's between Atiku, Tinubu. I don't see anything, anybody winning or any difference. Basically, that's what you're trying to say. This has good evening, Precious and Darlington. I want you to know that there is an opportunity for Supreme Court if Obi did not get justice in the tribunal. John Bosco from First Stack. Absolutely, we're not even undermining the fact that there is a tribunal. There is a Supreme Court. And then this is Precious. Do you gleefully read messages from Magic to me, Tunde from Ijegu and Olu from Badagry, and makes a dig at Darling? No, that's not true. I also read messages that is a dig at my own self. Have you not seen when I read them? I read that. Mr. Darlington, don't I read messages that is digging on me? They dig on all of us. They just dig on us up and down. So we read those messages too. So do you understand? It's because we promise let everyone have their say. That's the point. That's what we run by.
We are not bothered what you are saying, we can only tell you the truth.
All right. So you then said that I am really getting tired of this unhealthy histrionics of yours. It's surprising how Mr. Darlington is not even talking about a fundamental factor of 25% in the FCT, which only Obi met. Sam Kent sent in that message.
That one is not in contention.
Okay, and it's too late for three parties to merge. Although I believe if they have merged together, APC wouldn't have even won this election. Obi proving to be strong-headed, no way for him. He said, but Obi, because Obi proving to be strong-headed, no way for him. So Obi doesn't know before that Atiku is not good to be president before he joined him in the race in 2019 under PDP. Looking at the case presented in the court, there is not going to be any re-election or rerun. Tinubu and Atiku is more qualified than Peter Obi because they have better profile than Obi. Tinubu doesn't have certificate or not. Tinubu doesn't have certificate or not is invalid because there is nothing to prove that.
Are you serious?
He said the same thing they said about Buhari. Didn't he rule for 8 years? Only the jurisdiction that is faculty of election that will take place. If there is re-election, Tinubu will win the election because some of us believe in him as a better candidate for presidency. Late Gani Faweme's son did more than that in Lagos against Tinubu, that he doesn't have university certificate and primary school certificate. What's the outcome? Tinubu ruled for 8 years without any obstacle. Majeko is back again. We're telling you that Lori, what you're saying, you need to go anywhere. A rerun will only be between the candidate that has the highest number of votes and the person that scored 25% in more states. My name is Lukman from Ikoton. Thank you, Lukman. I appreciate you. Runoff elections is when a representative dies and elections will be conducted. You see, you guys are just confused. In fact, let me run a check on that very quickly. Mr. Darlington, while you have it talking about, I have to run a check on that. Because he's saying now runoff is when, when there's a vacancy in a seat. If a candidate dies and
election.
Runoff.
Is that not what the other man said?
No, the other one is saying that the runoff is actually when the election is between the two leading candidates.
No, that was not what he said.
That's what he said now. And that's the person you corrected that's correct. Say, precious baby, I'm not emotional. I'm just being honest and truthful. What's the essence of going out in court? Emperor said that. And then he says
to fill a vacancy.
But the other person did say that rerun we were talking about was supposed to be runoff and not rerun.
Run on, run off. They are confused.
Mr. Darlington, you heard him that time. He said that I shouldn't be mistaking rerun for runoff. And he interpreted runoff, and you said he was correct.
No, runoff is to fill a vacancy. That is what I believe it is. When there is a gap somewhere, you do a runoff.
All right. Good evening. If there will be major, Peter Obi will be the president. Kwankwaso vice, Atiku Senate president. These guys are just clowns. Is Atiku Senate president in your dreams, Abi? You see, all I don't like to face facts. Are you not the one with low? Okay, you said I'm the one with low mind, right? It makes you happy that I read that, right? No, the person who said that I should stop telling people to. Why am I telling people not to? Why am I cutting people off? I would cut you off if you're saying something that will put the station in trouble, and that's just the basic ethics of the job. So it doesn't matter if your ox is God, right? So let's see. So many messages on YouTube, precious. Please. He said, precious, please, just as you did not read one of my messages, but you decided to read only one. Not every message you read on air. The last, I should have skipped the last derogatory message about Peter Obi, right? I'm sorry about that. Do you know how many I've skipped so far? You're not even here. You're not seeing them. So you can't even tell the one I've skipped or not. So how do you know that's the only one that came in?
What did you say about Twitter?
I don't even know. If that kind of derogatory message was about Tinubu, would you have skipped it? Have you not been seeing me read them?
I wonder.
Well, Mr. Darlington, let me have your say, Jerry.
Now,
before we run off.
You see, everything about this election, because I've listened to people who are saying Tinubu is the next thing after God. Look, we are not saying that somebody should not win an election, but we are praising the white man. We are praising the Western world and the way they do their things. If we do it the same way, if we get it right, what is wrong? Nigeria, as the leader of the black race, we're supposed to be a leading light, not only the black race, but in Africa. People should be coming here to copy what we are doing. This Western world that their system is running smoothly is because they have a system of electing leaders who know their own, leaders who have impeccable character. So when people are just supporting what I don't understand, it really pains me seriously. You cannot have such a leader in the Western world, and you are seeing it. No, it can never happen. You and I know it can never. Look at Donald Trump. Just because of Tosine, look at what he's going through. Then you now have a certificate issue and all that. So always say whether this and that, it doesn't matter. Can you give what you don't have? Is it possible? So please, this thing that we are supporting, the result is telling on us now. You can see it. Buhari ruled for 8 years. What did he give us? This one has started again. You see all the things he's reversing. All the policy statements he made, he has reversed all of them. That's why I refuse to balance anything. Because I don't want something I will say today, tomorrow I will not be saying, this and No. You must convince me before I will give you the accolade. So far, I have seen nothing. So these people who are saying that you hate Tinubu, what has he done right that I did not acknowledge? Mention. All the policy statements he made, he has been reversing them. Thereby causing confusion. Fuel subsidy is now coming through the back door. And when he introduced the people who are representing him, hey, this and that, I was here, I said it cannot work. Today now, who is right and who is wrong? These are issues now. So please, before you come, I told you, come with the superior intelligence, I will welcome it. Don't just talk anyhow. Now that the Tinubu has reversed himself, come and talk again. They have brought up fuel subsidy. Talk again now. You that praise him, and they have said, no, it could not work. Talk again. You see something that will not work, you are praising it. How can it work? This leadership gap that we have in Nigeria is because they don't have the capacity. They don't have it. That's why we are saying you cannot give what you don't have. All this noise that when he was in Lagos, this and that. Okay, he has gone to Abuja now. Let him perform that. He cannot. He will make statement today. Tomorrow he will reverse it. Is that what you want me to support? No, I will not. All right, so Mr. Darlington, let me quickly clear us on that rerun and runoff election and that confusion. So the run, according to the Nigerian Constitution, the rerun election means to conduct Constitution. Yeah, the rerun election means to conduct the election all over again. It means that the first one was invalid and a new one should be done that should cure whatever anomaly observed in the first one. So in that case, in a rerun election, all political parties and candidates who participated in the first are allowed to contest again, except any candidate disqualified by that tribunal at that time. So, all right. Rather, a runoff elections is straight to the point. A runoff is conducted between two candidates. This is usually done when no candidate satisfies all the requirements necessary to be declared the outright winner of the election. So in that case, that's the one we're talking about, the first runner-up and then the winner and then the person who scored the highest number of votes. Then what the other guy was talking about was actually by-election, when he said if there is a vacancy, it's actually a by-election. I just, had to clear that up. I appreciate you, Lagos. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington. You said your final talk now. It's not as if you're dying. We'll hear from you again on Thursday. Is it? I wanted to say your final thoughts, but you said everything you have to say. Is it time? You say it's time. We're going. Lagos, thank you so much for being a part of the show. We appreciate you. Step up. Is it not you that say we should leave step up and step down today? We'll see you tomorrow, Lagos. Have yourself an amazing evening. My name is Precious Enyi. Good night.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Light Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender Greeters, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan, handle